Okay, so we're here in Power Pivot, and we brought over our information. We have our 34 different entries. Then, we have our tables over here. So remember, we made the relationship between table one and table two linked by the ID. This is what's known as a one-to-many relationship, where the ID number will only appear once in table one, but it will appear many times in table two. So you would use that ID number to pull the information out of table two. All right. All right, so what do we do next? Let's go back to data view. Next thing we want to do is create the pivot table. All right, the pivot table is an advanced chart that uses multiple pieces of information and even multiple worksheets to compile that information. So in order to create the pivot table, you just want to click on pivot table right here. All right, you can put down, there's a whole bunch of different options here as well. We're just going to go for pivot table. You can explore the other ones. It says, do I want to do it on a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? If you wanted to put it on an existing worksheet, that's fine. You just click it and then you search and find the button. I'm just going to do it on a new one just to make it easier. It takes a second. All right, so it pops up. Doesn't look like much. All right, there's nothing here. So now what we need to do is look over here to the right where you have the options. Okay, so we have table one with the name, ID, phone number, year, so on and so forth. Table two. So if we took the names, right, it just gives you all the names as a row, and you notice it pops in the bottom down here. Then we have ID numbers, which would also go in as a, we don't want the sum of the IDs, is adding them all up, so we can put that in here as a row too, so it'll tell you their ID numbers. And then we can put phone number in, give each person their phone number. And then for table two, we could do the different contacts, all right, so you talked, these are all the dates you talked to your mom. And you could actually, we could add in all this information and it turns into kind of a giant confusing mess that doesn't really do us any good. So let's uncheck all of this. Let's get rid of time, date. So let's get rid of it all. Go back to the beginning. Okay, so what we want to do for our call logs is just take the students' names, all right, and then their contacts, all right. Now, instead of having the contact appear in a row, we want to drag it over here to values where we'll give you the count of each contact, all right. And this could be the count of the interventions, you could do the sum of the amount of time somebody's out of the room, whatever you're using your chart for, okay? Now, once again, it doesn't look like much, all right? But if you double click on the count, a separate worksheet will pop up and give you the specific information for that person. Now, unfortunately, when it does this, it pops up as a new worksheet, all right? And you would need to delete that every time, all right? So, you can get a breakdown of exactly when you talk to people, what the comments were. I don't know how we ended up in 1900, because of the time. All right, so let's see. All right, we'll delete this worksheet again, okay? And let's go through this one more time. So I'm going to uncheck name, and I'm going to uncheck contact. So we get our pivot table, then actually let's shrink these down again. All right, you open up both tables. Remember, they're linked by the ID number. And then what you would do is name would be in the row for each individual person, and then contact, okay? Now, it's going to this will give you all of the different contacts that they experienced here, but if you go over to count of contacts, okay? There are other ones you could do too. You could do sum, average, but that doesn't make sense. So for us, the point would be count of contact. Okay, and then if you click on the number, it'll give you that breakdown of exactly when they were contacted, what the information was. All right. Now, and you do have to delete it each time. Okay. So this is known as a pivot table, and it is a powerful way to collect information and display it.